Okay, folks. So today we're diving into something that you do every day, probably multiple times a day,
Mm-hmm.
but probably don't think much about, and that is yawning.
Yeah.
We have a script actually for an educational video about yawning,
Okay.
and let me tell you, the seemingly simple act
Right.
is way more complex than you might think.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll unpack the mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
the theories, even why it's so contagious.
Mm.
And to help us make sense of all of this, we've got we've got an expert standing by who can answer all of our yawn-related questions.
I'll do my best.
All right, so the video starts with the basics, what physically happens in our bodies when we yawn,
Yeah.
and they describe it as this deep breath,
Yeah.
stretching the jaw, filling the lungs,
Right.
the whole yawn experience.
Yeah.
But what's going on beneath the surface?
Well, yawning is kind of a full body experience in a way. You've got multiple muscle groups that are kicking in. So you've got your diaphragm, obviously, that's involved. But also, even the tiny muscles in your inner ear get involved.
Huh.
And your blood pressure and heart rate actually change slightly, too.
Wow.
It's really interesting.
It's like a mini workout for your face.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that.
But the big question is why do we yawn?
Right.
The video lays out a few competing theories.
Okay.
One is that yawning is our brain's way of cooling down,
Yeah.
like an internal AC unit.
Uh-huh.
They even have this funny visual of a brain thermometer.
Right.
How much evidence is there for that?
There is some evidence linking brain temperature and yawning.
Okay.
Studies have shown that brain temperature can fluctuate, and we do seem to yawn more when it's warmer.
Interesting.
But it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Scientists aren't sure if yawning is actually what's causing the cooling or if it's a response to the heat.
Okay, so maybe not a slam dunk just yet.
Right.
What about the idea that yawning helps us stay alert? Like, think about that classic image of the sleepy driver napping awake with a big yawn.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
We've all been there.
And it feels like it gives you a boost.
Yeah.
The idea is that, the deep breath brings in more oxygen for the brain.
Right.
But the research on this is a little bit mixed. Some studies have shown that there's a slight increase in alertness after yawning, but others don't.
Okay, so while a yawn might feel refreshing,
Yeah,
the jury's still out on whether it actually boosts our alertness.
that's right.
Okay, let's move on to something we all experience.
Okay.
Contagious yawning.
Yes.
I swear I can't even think about yawning without actually doing it.
Me too.
Why is it so contagious?
Yes, the yawn contagion effect.
Right.
This is where things get really interesting. The leading theory here involves something called mirror neurons.
Okay.
These are special cells in our brains that fire both when we do something and when we watch someone else doing the same thing. They're thought to play a role in empathy and understanding other people's actions and emotions.
So basically our brains are wired to catch yawns like a cold.
Pretty much. Yeah, it seems that way.
That explains why I can't resist even when I'm trying to be polite.
It's hard. It's hard to resist.
You also mentioned that animals yawn too,
Yeah,
but not always for the same reasons as humans.
right.
The video highlights dogs and primates. What's going on with their yawns?
Well, you know how sometimes your dog will yawn when you scold them or something?
Yeah.
It's not because they're bored, it's actually a sign of stress.
Right.
Or even a way to appease you, kind of calm things down.
Huh.
And in primates, a yawn can actually be a power move, a
Wow.
way of showing dominance. It's pretty amazing how this one behavior can mean so many different things in the animal world.
Wait, so you're telling me that my dog's yawn might be a sign of anxiety, not boredom?
It could be, yeah.
Mind blown.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
One last thing I've always wondered about. Why is it so hard to stop a yawn once it starts? I know I've tried. It's a losing battle.
Well, yawning is a super deeply ingrained reflex. It's controlled by those more primitive parts of our brains.
Okay.
And that's why it's so hard to suppress. Once that neural pathway is triggered,
Yeah.
there's really no stopping it. Even just thinking about yawning can set it off sometimes.
Right.
It's powerful.
So we've learned that yawning is more than just a simple act.
Yeah.
It's a complex reflex with several potential functions, from brain cooling to social bonding. It's common across the animal kingdom, yet we still don't fully understand it.
Absolutely. Even everyday actions like this can hold deep scientific mysteries.
Right.
And the fact that yawning might connect us to the wider animal world is pretty remarkable.
Totally agree. So here's a final thought for you, listener. If yawning is a way of connecting with others, as some scientists believe, I wonder how our increasingly digital world is affecting those yawn connections?
That's a really good question.
We're spending more time with screens and less time face-to-face. Could this lack of in-person interaction be changing the way we yawn or the frequency with which we yawn?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems possible.
It's something to think about.
Mm.
And if you've noticed anything interesting about your own yawning habits, share your thoughts.
Yeah, let us know.
We'd love to hear from you.
We'd love to hear from you.
All right, that's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.